Welcome to Expert Subjects Weekly Podcast. This week's topic is to inspire those of you who are getting to writing at a later stage in your life. Not all of us can be a Zadie Smith, Jay McInerney, or Bret Easton Ellis, achieving success as writers at a young age. Sometimes that's a phenomenal thing, but other times a writer has an early success only to hit a long dry spell he or she never recovers from. If you have written as a hobby, but your full-time career or family responsibilities have gotten in your way of really concentrating on the written word, then take heart. You're in good company. For example, Laura Ingalls Wilder, born in 1867, didn't publish Little House in the Big Woods until 1831. Wilder was a school teacher and led a rough life, farming and trying to make ends meet. Not until Wilder was in her 60s did she reap the benefits of her writing labors as a journalist and novelist. Her daughter is thought to have helped her take rough manuscripts and get them polished for print. These stories are centered around Wilder's childhood as a pioneer, and despite the old-fashioned nature, they continue to draw many readers as well as viewers of the television series. Kenneth Grahame, a Scottish writer you may all be familiar with, was born in 1859 in Edinburgh. Although he published some stories in his 20s, Grahame worked at the Bank of England until a shooting incident caused his early retirement. After this time, he wrote The Wind in the Willows, which did not get published until his 49th year. This children's book has appealed to an audience of all ages. Most of us know Mr. Toad, Mr. Badger, and all the other characters in the Wildwood. These characters are still so beloved that another writer continued the Wind in the Willows series in the 1990s. Richard Adams, born in England in 1920, did not have his first novel, Watership Down, published until 1972, when he was in his 50s. He conceived of the story for his two daughters, who insisted he publish The Rabbit Tale, which then took him 2 years to get down on paper. 7 publishers rejected the manuscript before it was accepted, and then Watership Down received international recognition, selling over 1 million copies. 2 awards were given to the novel, the Carnegie Medal and the Guardian Award, and copies have sold into the tens of millions. Adams continues writing, publishing, and teaching. Then there's Henry Miller, born in 1891 in Manhattan and raised in Brooklyn, New York. He attended a brief stint at City College before deciding that he was not suited for academia. Miller painted and worked as a newspaper proofreader, as well as embarking on 4 marriages during the course of his life. Not until he was in his 4th decade of life did he see his first novel in print, The Tropic of Cancer. Until then, he had written news articles under his editor friend's name since he was not permitted to publish himself. Due to Miller's relationships with several influential artists at the time, such as Anais Nin, he succeeded. Not only did these friends fund his artistic endeavors, but they saw to it that his work became published despite its sexual content and controversial buzz. From these well-known and late-blooming writers, you can see that your age should not discourage you in your writing career. Many people retire from one profession and begin a second, and if you have the flexibility and freedom to make such a switch, then take advantage and get your stories down. You just never know. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast on expert subjects. Be sure to read the article on later in life writing careers for more inspiration.